from an early age, many of us are fascinated by the concept of treasure hunting. We watch the mist from thunderstorms break light into a color spectrum to generate a rainbow. At the end of this rainbow is a mythical pot of gold that many of us, young and old alike, dream of finding. While I've never been lucky enough to find this pot of gold, I have found a hobby that allows for me to participate in treasure hunting, and it is called geocaching. And geocaching is a GPS-enabled outdoor treasure hunt. So today, I'd like to share with you some basics of geocaching, what it is. We'll talk a little bit about the kinds of geocaches that are typically available, and then finally, what equipment you would need to participate in that activity. So geocaching is an activity that anybody can participate in, and there's a global community of people that do participate in it. And those people are called geocachers. And what those individuals do is they create different kinds of treasures that are hidden outdoors, in public, in parks, along trails, in many different places. And those treasures could be a small little tube, a photo tube with a log in it that you go sign just to say that you found it, to a Tupperware container that's full of all kinds of trinkets, and I brought a couple of just examples of kinds of things you could find in there, patches, memorabilia, all kinds of different things that people will put in these boxes and then hide them outdoors. So once an individual has decided they want to create a geocache, which anybody can do, they go out and find the primo hiding spot in nature, and they hide this item. And they then, at that point, get a GPS device and establish the GPS coordinates for that item. Once they have that information, they then go back home, log into their computer, go out online. And there's a number of different resources online for geocaching, but a couple of them that I use that I find to be most useful is geocaching.com and opencaching.com, which is a Garmin-hosted website. And the individual goes out onto this website, and they place the information, the GPS information, an overall description of the geocache online. And once that information is online, the geocaching community can then go out and begin to find this geocache with the information that's been posted online. So once that information's there, the community starts going out and finding that item. So what kind of caches are there that are available to participate in? There's three common types. The first type is a traditional coordinate-based cache. And that's just the basics of a lat-long position that you post online. The individual goes out, gets that information, punches into their GPS, and can go right to the location of the geocache. And I brought an example of what that would look like from the results you get online. You can print just a small data sheet about the geocache, and it'll provide you the lat-long coordinates and a basic little map, and then it'll tell you about the geocache. It'll tell you about the difficulty of it. It'll talk about the terrain that you are going to have to experience to find that, and it can be very easy, right along a trail to way into the wilderness where you're going to have your hiking boots on and the appropriate clothing. It tells you a little bit about the awesomeness of it. This one's called Sweet. And then finally the size, whether it's small, medium, or large in size. So these are the easiest, and this is usually where someone would start in geocaching. The next kind of cache is a multi-cache. And all this information is online. It'll tell you what kind of cache you're getting ready to participate in. But a multi-cache is like a traditional cache. You'll get an initial coordinate and destination for a cache, and you go find that cache. You open up that cache, it'll tell you then the location for the next cache. So it's a series of caches before you get to the final cache that has all the treasures in it. And then the third kind of cache, which is the most challenging, are puzzle caches. And puzzle caches require an individual to solve a puzzle to be able to acquire the position of the cache. I brought a couple examples along. These are probably the most difficult ones I've seen out, but they're about 3 or 4 pages long of a puzzle. And these actually require some engineering and programming to solve. But there's different abstractions and difficulty levels. Some of them are just small logic puzzles. People that like puzzles, you can go out and solve a puzzle and then also go out and participate in caching through solving that puzzle. So we've covered the basics of what geocaching is. We've covered the kinds of geocaches. You're probably asking yourself, well, how do I participate? What do I need to be able to participate in that activity? Well, really all you need is internet access, the ability to go out online, find the information that I've shown you there. And then secondly, you need a GPS device to actually go out and locate that cache. I brought along the unit that I use. It's a Garmin unit. There's a lot of different kinds of units that you can use, but pretty much a GPS-enabled device. This one's more rugged. You can use in the outdoor. If you drop it, you don't have to worry about it breaking, or if you get water on it, it's waterproof. But this unit here, I can go out and download those sheets right into the unit, and then I'm ready to go. I have a map on here. I have the coordinates of that location. I can use this device to go out and find that geocache. So there's, like I said earlier, there's very advanced kinds of GPSs you can use, to even your cell phone, if you're just going to go and find a very basic one along a trail. And then lastly, you need some kind of treasure to put into the geocache. If you take something out of the geocache, you need to put something into the geocache. So there's a myriad of different things you can use, but I like small little things I can put in my pocket. So I encourage you all, go out online, find a geocache, put your zip code in. There's probably one right in your neighborhood. Grab your GPS and go for adventure. You never know, you just might stumble upon that elusive pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.